The year was 1892. The wounds of the Civil War, though decades old, still lingered in the hearts and minds of men. Major Lancaster, a decorated veteran of that brutal conflict, knew this all too well. He had served under General Grant, witnessing firsthand the horrors of battlefields like Cold Harbor. The Major carried the weight of those memories, the echoes of cannon fire and the screams of dying soldiers, long after the guns had fallen silent. Cold Harbor had been a particularly bitter defeat, a stain on Grant's otherwise impeccable record. Some whispered that the Major, struck by a sniper's bullet in the heat of the fight, was partly responsible for the loss. It was a burden he bore silently, the knowledge that his injury might have cost lives. Yet through the smoke and chaos, he had risen to the rank of Major, a testament to his courage under fire. But the battlefield victories, the accolades showered upon Grant, offered little solace to the Major. He had returned to his hometown of Exeter, Rhode Island, a changed man. The horrors he had witnessed haunted his sleep, the specter of death a constant companion. He sought peace in the quiet rhythms of small-town life, hoping to bury the ghosts of his past. Exeter, nestled amidst the rolling hills and rugged coastline of Rhode Island, seemed a world away from the battlefields of the South. It was a place where time moved slowly, where life revolved around the seasons and the rhythms of the sea. Yet, even in this tranquil corner of the world, darkness could lurk beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to emerge.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that.
East of their troubled town. Major Lancaster found himself caught in the crossfire of this deepening divide. As a man of reason, a pragmatist shaped by the harsh realities of war, he struggled to reconcile the town's growing hysteria with his own skepticism. He had seen death in its many forms, had witnessed the brutality that men could inflict upon one another. But the idea of vampires, of creatures that defied the laws of nature, struck him as absurd. Yet he could not ignore the genuine terror that gripped his neighbors. He saw it in their eyes, heard it in their voices, a palpable fear that transcended mere superstition. These were good, hard-working people, their lives deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the land. They were not prone to flights of fancy, to embracing the fantastical. Something had shaken them to their core, something that demanded an explanation. Adding to the pressure was the arrival of outsiders, drawn to Exeter by the rumors of vampires. Spiritualists and self-proclaimed experts on the occult descended upon the town, offering their services for a fee. They conducted seances, interpreted dreams, and peddled charms and amulets that promised protection from the undead. Their presence, far from calming the situation, only served to inflame the town's anxieties. The Major knew he had to tread carefully. He could not dismiss the town's fears outright, not without risking further unrest. Nor could he allow himself to be swayed by the pronouncements of charlatans, their pockets lined with the townspeople's hard-earned money. He needed proof, tangible evidence that would either confirm or dispel the rumors of vampirism. The Exhumations, for all their ghoulish implications, represented his best chance to uncover the truth. The task of assembling a team for the Exhumations fell to the Major. He knew he needed men who were both discreet and dependable, men who would not be swayed by the town's superstitions. He approached the task with a heavy heart, dreading the conversations, the inevitable questions that would arise. His first stop was the local blacksmith, a burly man named Ed Benning, known for his gruff exterior and his unwavering loyalty. Ed, a practical man with little patience for folklore, initially scoffed at the idea of vampires. But when the Major explained the situation, the genuine fear that gripped the town, Ed reluctantly agreed to help. Finding others willing to participate proved more challenging. The Major approached several men, only to be met with nervous refusals. Some cited religious objections, claiming that disturbing the dead was an affront to God. Others admitted their fear, their voices trembling as they spoke of curses and vengeful spirits. In the end, the Major managed to assemble a small team, a motley crew of laborers and farmhands, bound together by a sense of duty and the promise of a generous payment. They were not enthusiastic participants, their faces betraying a mixture of apprehension and morbid curiosity, but they were all the Major had. His only hope of uncovering the truth that lay buried beneath the cold, hard ground of the Exeter cemetery. The Major, despite his reservations, approached the task with his usual efficiency. He was, after all, a soldier, accustomed to confronting unpleasant duties head-on. He procured the necessary tools, shovels, picks, crowbars, each item a stark reminder of the gruesome task ahead. He also requisitioned lanterns and a plentiful supply of oil, knowing that darkness would be their constant companion in the graveyard. The exhumations, he decided, would take place under cover of night. It was a practical decision, a way to avoid attracting undue attention and further inflaming the town's already heightened emotions. But there was another reason, one he kept to himself. The night held its own kind of secrecy, a veil of shadows that felt strangely fitting for the unsettling work ahead. He paid a visit to George Brown, the grieving father and husband of the women they were about to exhume. It was a difficult conversation, one filled with awkward silences and veiled accusations. Brown, his face etched with grief and exhaustion, seemed resigned to the whole affair. He gave his consent, his voice barely a whisper, as if the weight of his sorrow had robbed him of his will to fight. The Major assured Brown that the exhumations would be conducted with the utmost respect, that their purpose was not to desecrate the graves, but to seek answers, to bring peace to a town gripped by fear. Brown merely nodded, his eyes fixed on some distant point beyond the Major's shoulder, as if the weight of his loss had transported him to another realm. In his gut. he sought to dispel. Inside the vault, the doctor continued his examination, his movements precise, almost reverent. He had, in his years of practice, witnessed death in its many forms, from the peaceful passing of old age to the brutal finality of accidents and violence. But nothing in his experience had prepared him for the unsettling sight of Mercy Brown. He had, at first, dismissed the rumors of vampirism as the product of fear and superstition. He had seen firsthand how quickly such beliefs could take root in times of hardship, how easily fear could warp the perceptions of even the most rational minds. But the sight of Mercy's body, her seemingly preserved state, the unnatural length of her hair and nails, gave him pause. He had, of course, a scientific explanation for the phenomenon. The cold winter temperatures, the dampness of the vault could have slowed the decomposition process, creating the illusion of preservation. The hair and nails, no longer nourished by the flow of blood, could have continued to grow for a time after death, a gruesome but ultimately natural occurrence. But as he examined Mercy's body, his fingers brushing against her cold, still flesh, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. There was a stillness about her, an absence of the usual signs of decay that defied his medical training. He found himself, despite his better judgment, questioning his own sanity, wondering if the whispers, the rumors that had haunted Exeter for months, held a grain of truth. Control of the situation before it spiraled further into chaos. He had hoped that the exhumations would provide answers, would quell the rumors that had gripped Exeter. Instead, they seemed to have only amplified the town's anxieties, pushing them to the brink of hysteria.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. Maybe someday you'll have it your way. Until then, nope, a nope, a nope, a nope, definitely nope, a nope, nope, a nope. Probably never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. Oh no.
Those familiar odors, he thought he detected something else. Something metallic and cloying like the smell of blood. He pushed the thought away, attributing it to his own overactive imagination, the product of a long day, and the unsettling events that had unfolded before him. He needed to think clearly, to separate fact from superstition, to find a way to calm the crowd and restore order. But as he looked out at their faces, their eyes wide with fear and expectation, he realized that the situation was more volatile than he had initially thought. He had stumbled into something dark and dangerous, something that threatened to tear the town apart. He had to tread carefully, for the line between reason and madness was thin indeed. The Major raised his hand, signaling for silence. The crowd, sensing a shift in his demeanor, gradually quieted down, their gazes fixed upon him with a mixture of hope and apprehension. He cleared his throat. His voice, when he spoke, was low but steady, carrying the weight of authority tempered with compassion. "I understand your fears," he began, "and I know that this is a difficult time for all of us. We've lost good people, and it's only natural to seek answers, to find someone or something to blame. But we cannot allow fear to rule our hearts," he continued, his gaze sweeping over the crowd, meeting their eyes one by one. "We are a community, bound together by ties of kinship and shared history. We've faced difficult times before, and we've always come through them together, stronger for the experience. We cannot let superstition and fear divide us now, not when we need each other most." He paused, letting his words sink in, gauging their reaction. He could see that some of the townsfolk were nodding in agreement, their faces relaxing slightly, a glimmer of hope returning to their eyes. Others, however, remained unconvinced, their expressions wary, their gazes darting between the Major and the open vault, as if expecting something to emerge from its depths at any moment. The Major knew that he was at a crossroads. He could try to reason with them, to appeal to their better nature. But he knew that logic and science would only go so far in the face of deeply ingrained beliefs and the raw, primal fear that gripped their hearts. He needed to find another way, a solution that would address their fears while preserving the fragile peace of their community. A decision that would have far-reaching consequences, not just for the Brown family, but for the soul of Exeter itself. The silence that followed the Major's words was heavier than the damp earth piled around the open grave. The townsfolk, their faces illuminated by the flickering lantern light, seemed to hold their breath, caught between the familiar comfort of their beliefs and the unsettling doubts sown by the Major's words. The spiritualist, her moment of triumph shattered, glared at the Major, her eyes burning with a mixture of anger and defiance. The doctor, his face pale but resolute, stood beside the Major, a silent testament to the power of reason in the face of fear. The Major knew that his words had struck a chord, however faint. He could sense a shift in the atmosphere, a subtle easing of the tension that had gripped the crowd. The fear was still there, etched into the lines on their faces, reflected in their wary eyes. But there was something else too, a flicker of hope, a yearning for a resolution that did not involve the supernatural, the macabre. They wanted to believe him, he realized, wanted to be reassured that their world was not ruled by the darkness that they feared. He drew a deep breath, steadying himself. He had walked a battlefield under a hail of bullets, had faced down the enemy with a courage born of necessity. But this confrontation with the intangible specters of fear and superstition felt like a different kind of battle, One fought with words instead of weapons, with reason instead of brute force. The stakes, however, were just as high, for the very soul of Exeter hung in the balance. "We will give Mercy Brown a proper burial," he said, his voice firm, resolute, "and we will pray for her soul, as we pray for the souls of all those we have lost." He paused, letting his gaze sweep over the crowd once more. "But we will not give in to fear. We will not turn on each other. We will face the future together as a community, stronger for the trials we have endured." The days that followed the exhumation were a blur of hushed conversations and wary glances. The spectre of Mercy Brown, her unsettling corpse, the pronouncements of the spiritualist, lingered over Exeter like a persistent fog. The Major, despite his attempts to restore a sense of normalcy, could feel the undercurrent of fear, the lingering suspicion that something dark and dangerous had been unearthed along with the bodies in the graveyard. He had hoped that time would heal the wounds, that the rhythms of daily life would eventually erode the memories of that unsettling night. But the fear had seeped into the very fabric of their lives, poisoning their interactions, casting a pall over their once peaceful community. Children whispered about vampires in hushed tones, their eyes wide with fear. Neighbors, once quick to offer a helping hand, now avoided each other's gaze, their faces etched with suspicion. The Major, haunted by the image of Mercy Brown's corpse, the unsettling vitality that seemed to cling to her even in death, found himself questioning his own beliefs. He had always considered himself a man of reason, guided by logic and empirical evidence, but the events of that night had shaken him, had forced him to confront the limits of his understanding. He had seen the horrors of war, had witnessed firsthand the depths of human cruelty, but there was something about the idea of a supernatural evil, something that defied the laws of nature and the boundaries of human comprehension, that filled him with a primal dread, a sense of helplessness that he had never experienced before. Glimpsed something profound and unknowable. The echoes of fear lingered, a stark reminder that some truths are best left buried, hidden in the shadows of our collective past.